Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dungeon Dive. Daniel here. I hope you're doing well, and if you're not, I hope you are soon. Okay, today on the Dungeon Dive, I am joined again by Rodger Deering from Groovis Games.
Hey, Daniel. Hello, everyone. I got to do my greeting. I got to put my, as I always say, I got to put my bifocals on so I can
Yes, I
talk
can
to you.
see. That's how I am now, man. My eyes are so bad.
I use reading glasses.
Yeah,
I
that's what these are, but
board
like
gaming.
I like cannot read without my glasses anymore.
But I want to say Happy New Year to you, Daniel. Everyone out there, even though it's what 30 days after the fact.
Hey, that's okay. It's still January.
Right. So 30 days. I really wish all of you a very happy new year. I wish you all the best. I hope you get some awesome games. And for me, at least, I think 2023 is this very positive, just going on. And really, and I was telling Daniel earlier, congratulations, Daniel, your channel has just really blown up. You're reaching towards 50, you're over a little over 14, but heading to 15,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
And just the content, I've said this before, and I mean this, no one does what you do. You have this niche and the way you present things, and it's just so professional and great to watch. So thank you for what, not only what you did for us with Dungeon Crusade, but everything you've done for, all of them. You're just,
Oh man, my pleasure. I love talking about games. I know some people don't like the way I talk about games, but hey, that's okay. Can't please everybody all the time. You know that.
yes. Yeah, I know that. And I want to give out some congratulations.
Yeah, yeah.
Victor with Dungeons of Doria, and I know
Yep.
we helped out. I was trying to spread the word for him. You were everyone, and what he's pretty close to. I think he's in production with it.
Should be
Um,
soon, yeah.
and
Probably 6 months or so, I would imagine. We start seeing our games.
then, yep, I backed that one. And I'm going to send him a copy of Dungeon Crusade, and of course, Michael blew everyone away, and with his game, A League of Dungeoneers, and I caught your unboxing of it, man. There it. Oh, it's right on your table there for the
Yep, there it
unboxing.
is.
Okay, so now see, so the Slayer of the Realm for Dungeon Crusade is big. So now I've got to make something else to beat Michael's. Isn't that the box is huge? And it's like
It's
30 pounds.
yeah, it's there's a lot of stuff in there, and it's yeah, it's a good game. It's neat, you
Good for
know.
him. I caught
I
some of it. It looks great. The cardboard standees, the tiles, and I think you said it, and Axel said a lot of people said it's pretty much you don't need Warhammer Quest 95. This pretty much does that, but it's a little more crunchy, which is good.
Yeah, I would say that League of Dungeoneers should quench the thirst of modern gamers wanting a reprint of Warhammer Quest 95. Um, it's maybe the it's the only modern game I know of that now that I have it, if I had to sell my copy of Warhammer Quest, I wouldn't be devastated because I would have this to fall back on. So I think that's a really good place to put it. Um, I'm not saying it doesn't replace Warhammer Quest. I'm not going to throw my copy of Warhammer Quest and all my stuff up
Mine's not going anywhere.
up on eBay. One of the reasons why, and one of the things that League of Legends just can't compete with right now is Warhammer Quest has 20, 30 years of fan created content
Yeah.
that is available. So it's so expanded, it's so expansive. And right now we're kind of on the ground floor of League of Dungeoneers. So it can only go up from here. Same as with Dungeon Crusade. We're on the ground floor, and I think both of these games have a really good future ahead of them. So
Well,
I'm
thank you for
excited.
saying that. Yeah, and we're going to talk about that and closing
Oh
the
yeah, most definitely.
of Genesis of Evil and all that. But just congratulations to Michael. He
Yep.
really knocked the ball out of the park. I'm just very happy for him, and I'm dying to play the game. I've watched some of that, and Rob over on
Rob
or
Orr. Yeah.
yeah, Rob Warren, he did some great coverage. So I was, I'm so busy, but I'm really intrigued. But like, I love games, and I'm very happy for Michael and his team.
You're gonna like it. I think you're gonna get a real kick out of it.
And what else can we talk about? But anyway, I'm just happy. I'm just happy to chill out with everyone. Oh, and wait, we got to bring up a mutual friend, Nick Thornton. I'm coming for you,
Oh
brother.
no, what did Nick do?
Put that comment there.
Oh yeah, yeah. Nick was talking about how you would respond to a comment. Yeah.
My God, it was kind of embarrassing. And I looked, you know what I said? Nikki Poo, watch it, Nikki Poo. I'm watching you now.
This is some inside drama on the Dungeon Dive Facebook group. Somebody was like, "I wonder how Roger would respond," and he was,
That was
"Hello, so and so. I hope you're doing well today and having a great morning." And I just wanted to tell you all about.
Well, let me tell you something. Seriously, when I type that to people, I'm not going to make this a tangent and all the thing. When I type that, Daniel, like I do, it's very genuine.
Oh,
And
I feel it.
no, I really do. I love talking to people, and I hope you're doing good, and and tell them what I'm doing because you know this is just my thing. The world is crummy. You don't know
Yeah.
what someone's going through on their end, what what they're going through. So I just always try to be very pleasant, and really I enjoy talking to people. But Nick, you got me.
You
That
got
was
him.
so
That was.
so I got a reply coming for you. You better watch it with a Photoshop with me and Nick together.
Oh no, yeah, I know Roger's Photoshop skills are pretty good.
Oh,
So
you better get ready for this one, brother. So I'm busy, but I'm coming for you, Nick. But I love you, man. It was really funny. Anyway, we have an hour. So
yeah, about an hour. So I always like to start off these conversations with a question. What's been on your hobby table? What games have you been playing? Any role computer games or video games? Because I know the last time we talked, you were playing some video games. How's that going? How are
and
your CRPGs coming?
that is, and I'm going to highly, highly recommend. I've wanted this, and on the PSN store they had this dirt cheap. I would recommend if you are into old school Dungeons and Dragons, if you like having a party of heroes, you know me, that's my thing. You control a party of heroes. You kind of control them. If you like that high fantasy stuff, if you like action combat, guys, and it's on sale right now. Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. Have
Hmm.
you played this game?
Yeah, it's a good game. I love the combat in it. It's so much fun to just to control your character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just think that game it's not like, it's kind of deep, but you can, the pawns you have, your
Hmm.
party members, you can give them different stuff and equip them with stuff. And you can try those, like the giant ogres, and you can actually jump on them and hit them. Man, it's kind of like an offline MMO
Yeah.
solo RPG, but with a party of heroes. There's what tasks you can get from the bulletin boards in towns to go out and do, like, oh guys, it's only, get this, it is 85% off on the PSN. It might be on Xbox. On
I
PSN,
think it is. Yeah.
$4.49.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, you can't beat that. I mean, you know what it really reminds me of? That game feels like a 3D version of the old Capcom side-scrolling Dungeons and Dragons beat
The
'em
Tower
ups.
of
The
Doom.
Tower of yeah, right?
Yes,
Because like it
exactly.
has that like those games really felt like D&D, even though they were more action orientated. They just had a really good D&D vibe. And I would bet dollars to donuts that Capcom actually wanted to make a 3D Dungeons and Dragons game, but they probably couldn't get the license or something, and so they made their own
Yeah.
Dragon's Dogma. Because I mean, Dragon's Dogma D&D, and
Oh
it
yeah.
it feels so much like what I imagine a D&D party going through if you focus more on the action.
Yeah, I mean, I would highly, guys, go play
Yeah.
that game. I'm telling you, it is just so, so good. Um, I've been wanting to play Warhammer Quest 95 because of Michael's thing. And I'm busy with doing the promotions. There is so many emails I have to get to after this. And I have a new showcase video, guys, coming up Celebration Day. And we're going to play the Four House of Chance games. So that's coming up when I get done here. I got to get working on that. But I've been wanting to play Warhammer Quest, hopefully this coming weekend. And I've been playing old school RPGs because of these two smaller games I've been working on that are based in
Mhm.
certain locations in Avalon, much, much smaller than Book One Genesis of Evil for Dungeon Crusade. But I've been playing, if you remember Shining in the Darkness.
Yeah, Sega, right?
Yeah. So I've
Yeah,
been playing
yeah.
that on and off again. I'm playing the Diablo 2 remastered one, or what, resurrected. And
Hmm.
believe it or not, the original Diablo.
Yeah, original Diablo is really good.
It is. I still
Did
love it for all
did
these
did
years.
you play the when they when they remade the original in Diablo 3.
Wait, what's that? What do you mean?
Yeah, so there was a special anniversary event that would happen, and you could play through a kind of condensed version of Diablo 1 in Diablo 3.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was like a little kind of bonus dungeon that you would go in, and it was a really simple dungeon where you just
Wait a
kept
minute.
going down.
I do remember that.
Yeah,
Did
and
you have to go to a certain place to find it or something?
yeah, I don't remember how you triggered it, but and I don't think it's available anymore. I think it was like some kind of limited time event. I think. Am I dreaming this? Wait, okay. Wait, I have to look this up now
I remember going to some.
because I feel like it's like maybe it's a fever dream.
No, but there was
Diablo
something at I
1.
thought in Diablo 3, you go into a building and then you go down and
Yes, yes. So there was a. I'm not. This was not a fever dream. I did not make this up. You could access the Diablo anniversary event in Diablo 3, and you had to go back to like the old ruins of Tristram, and then the graphics would actually kind of devolve into a more pixelated look,
yeah,
and then you could play through. I think it was a basic 10 level dungeon descending into
I
into
remember
hell.
that.
Yeah, that was super cool.
And what
That was a
Diablo
lot of fun.
4 is what 6/6/23.
Yes.
So yeah, I that's a day one purchase for me.
Yeah.
I love Diablo. And other than that, I don't want to take too much time with this, but I listed over on your Facebook Dungeon Dive. There's 3 games I'm looking forward to. Like fourth with League of Dungeoneers, but
What else?
Dungeoneers. But here's the thing, Daniel. Believe it or not, I still have games over there that have the plastic on them
Oh,
because
I believe it.
I'll
You've been
do
working so hard.
I that's why, and I don't feel right. This is guys. If you ever want to talk, I am so open with you guys. I just say it how it is. I'm so committed to Dungeon Crusade. I don't feel right opening up a board game and sitting there for days and playing that because I have work to do. That's why I really want to wrap this up. And I'm definitely taking a break after what we work on, what we're going to discuss in the game. I want to get to all these games. I finally have Escape the Dark Castle.
Mhm.
I want to play that. But the 3 games I'm going to get, because I don't want to just buy 2 dozen games and I don't got all the time to play it. Cthulhu May Die, right?
Yep, Death May Die.
Death May
Yep.
Die. That I just looked at the expansions. Holy mackerel, that's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
I love Arkham Horror is one of my favorite games, the big board game. But I know this is completely different. We talked before the new Descent game, and then really you sold me on this. And if I had to choose the 3, like if I could have one right now, Secrets of the Lost Tomb.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't, because you like me, you like that random. You don't know what's going to happen next. And I heard that game really is like that.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's I mean, there's a reason why it's my favorite game of all time. No other game gives me that feel of where when I sit down to play a game of Secrets of the Lost Tomb, I truly feel like anything can happen.
That's what, and I don't know a lot about it. So I kind of want to not learn about
Yeah,
it.
that
But
was the best thing. I knew nothing about that game because I wasn't really plugged into Kickstarter at all when that was hitting Kickstarter. And I went for my birthday. My wife and I, we like to take a little day trip on my birthday, and we go up to a little town north of where I live in the Pacific Northwest, and they had a game store. And I went into the game store, and I was looking around, and I saw this Secrets of the Lost Tomb. I'd never heard of it, and I looked at the back of the box, and it's like just this huge, sprawling dungeon adventure with stacks of cards and characters, and I was like, what the hell is this game? Where did this come from? And so I immediately bought it, and I actually opened it up. I took it back to the car. We were going out to dinner after, and I took it back to the car, and I opened it up, and I took the rule book out, right? And while we were waiting for our dinner, I was flipping through the rule book. Like remember when you were a kid and you'd get a new video game and you'd open up the box on the way home to like read through the manual?
back in when me and Leah would go out, if we usually back in the day go to the mall, I'd buy a new game, go out to eat, take the game.
Yeah.
Look, remember the big instruction manuals?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I was doing that, and I was reading. I was like, wait, this is like my perfect game. Where did this game come from? And I got out my phone and I immediately went to Amazon and ordered all the expansions before I had even played the game, so I would have them waiting for me, a week later. And yeah, the rest is history.
Well, didn't you or someone mention that they're coming out with the reprint?
They should be. I heard this year they will be doing a Kickstarter for they're calling it a second edition. I really hope they don't change anything.
Yeah.
Um, I'll be pretty disappointed if they make it more like Secrets of the Lost Station, the science fiction follow-up, which I didn't like at all. I mean, that's kind of crazy that the spiritual successor to my favorite game of all time, I don't even own anymore. I sold it. So I'm hoping they don't change too much. They said they're streamlining it, but I don't
Mhm.
want it streamlined. I like the messiness of. So I don't
Exactly.
know. I have no insider information whatsoever. I know they were actually, I think, kind of mad at me for my review, my disappointment of Secrets of the Lost Station. I
Oh,
haven't heard.
really?
We used to talk a little bit back and forth, Chris and I, from Everything Epic Games, but maybe I was a little too harsh on the game, so maybe I kind of hurt some feelings. So kind of a live and learn thing, I think, on my part, as somebody who, I need to kind of, I'm not going to say temper my opinion, but maybe approach things a little differently.
Well, you know what?
Sure.
I don't know if Chris is his name.
Yeah, Chris.
So this is a message to Chris. You need, if you do a reprint, you need to get this to Daniel because this is my favorite game. I know that you would do just one heck of a job promoting it because you love it so
Oh,
much. So, so
I would definitely do that.
Chris and Daniel, you need to work together if this reprint. And I'm going all in for this. I will
Yeah,
go. I'm right. I hope they don't change the art. Don't change
yeah.
nothing. Don't tweak anything. Don't leave it as is and just pre-print it.
Yep. So that's a kind of a good transition. Me being a little harsh. So I, of course, am a huge fan of Dungeon Crusade.
Thank you. Really, thank you.
It's in my top
Really
50.
yeah, I was
I
very
am
thank
super
you.
excited for the future of Dungeon Crusade, but my review, my full like 40-minute review, I called an uphill battle to greatness
Right,
because I felt that there were some issues getting to the good stuff in the game.
right.
And I was a little pretty critical of the rule book.
Yep.
And I think over the last year and a half or so, you've really taken my criticism and other people's criticism to heart. And you've been really working hard on not fixing the game because it wasn't broken, but
You know what? It's
honing the game, whittling down the making it easier to get into.
yes. Let me put it like this, and I just want to say to everyone, and this is straight from the heart. I will always be eternally all those original backers who believed in me and the game. I really, and you know my thing, and I truly meant. I don't just say this. I was either going to complete that game and do the best I can, or die in the process. I would have
Yeah.
died here in this chair like dead. I was never going, ever going to stop because of just that opportunity and just the incredible people that I met, and it's just a pleasure to have their friendship. Like really, they are my extended family. I just value them. But I was a first time creator, even though I
Hmm.
played. I mean, I had this video I made of all the games I played since I was 7. Just board games, video games, RPGs, PC games. Like I might have a PhD in all this stuff because I played so much of it. But as a first time creator, especially with the framework, which was Dungeon Crusade, which
Hmm.
and not being glowy, but what it was, I wanted to have an open world dungeon crawl board game with where it has a living dungeon with a patrol route system. And so as a first time creator, you know what? You learn a lot.
Yeah.
And what you said is this, and this I think this is the perfect way to put it. You build this really crazy sports car and it's just never seen it before, right? Take it on the track. Okay, there's some issues. We got to tweak this, got to tweak that, bring it back in the garage, tweak it. You know what's wrong. And then it becomes like a really perfect car.
Yeah.
And that's really what I did. I listened to you, definitely, other people, the constructive criticism. There were a few meanie butts.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But no, but I listened to it. But and so Elpo, the amazing Elpo, I love you. Was the editor, and I learned a lot about doing a rule book, say something quick and all that. So, oh wait, before I forget, guys, I have a comment down there for you. I want you to see this rule book. It's been getting excellent reviews from Daniel, and then Justin over at Board Game Losers. He did a full playthrough of Castle Blackwood. He knows that game like better than me. And then he was critical. He was going to release his original review. He was a tough freaking critic, and I'm glad he was. He was dogging that rule book. I wanted to hear that. That's the only way you're going to get better.
No, I think that's right. I mean, this was like the first rule book you ever wrote, and it was a big undertaking. And I think,
and the thing is too, and I know you got it. People said the rule book was like Rodger talking to you.
Yes.
And I wrote, it was very big. And the reason is because I wanted to explain everything. I would say it like, let me show you a diagram. I wanted those answers there for people, but there was a better way to do it, which is now the revised rule book. So Ilpo was the editor on it. I was going to say something else about that, but Justin, he had the new rule book, and he was straight. You can watch his review of it. He's like, this is a night and day difference from that original rule book. You can find everything. There's a better index in it. It's from 72 pages. It's only 46 now. The 4 House of Chance games are in there. The Avalon Adventure board game, the new rule set for Dungeon Crusade, which is like 10 pages or something. The new solo Crusader mode. There was some people that said, I listened to people. Rodger, I want to play Dungeon Crusade with one hero. Mm-hmm. Went to work on it. You can now play Dungeon Crusade with one hero and your fetch hound Albus, but also from Diablo 2, I created the new mercenary camp. So with the new additions, and you can download it, it's in your Crusader upgrade pack. We're going to get to that. There's a new mercenary camp and a revised combat system. Hey, I didn't like the classic combat. Can we just roll some dice? So it's like chucking dice, but you have to, with your warfare types and special abilities. So there's a new revised combat. You have classic and revised in it now. You have the mercenary camp for the solo Crusader mode. You can hire up to 2 mercenaries to go out with you. Kind of like, I'm getting over a cold, guys, so excuse my coughing. Okay. So, that's in the game. I listen to people. Here you go, solo Crusader mode. That rule set is in the game. That's only like 4 pages. And then just before I forget, I'm working on the random dungeon generator mode. And really, you started doing a quest.
Yeah.
I started doing it. There's a new mode coming where people just want to play 45-minute quests no longer than 2 hours. I get it. So I came up with this thing called quest challenges. It's going to be a new kind of scenario. Quickly set it up, play, depending on whatever scenario it is, it's going to have certain heroes, and it's a quick game of Dungeon Crusade. And I feel with what's in the game now, the classic Dungeon Crusade, where you can play with 3 to 12 heroes, solo Crusader, random dungeon generator, quest challenges for if you want that, 45 minutes to 2 hours, it covers all of that. And I'm just, again, I sleep better now with that revised rule book because I'm content.
Well, it's really good. I think one of the things people will, when they see the new revised rule book, is the flow is much more natural. It pulls you into the game better because the new rule book starts with the Avalon Adventure game. And yep. I think one of your changes to your product boxing is the Avalon Adventure game is now included in all versions, right?
Well, yeah, and now because I phased out that because and that's something, guys. Listen, I learned from this. There was the Knight of the Realm edition starting off, and it was literally hindsight 2020. And wait, before I forget, guys, again, the revised rulebook. Look for my comment. I want you to see that. And there's a pledge manager. We're in a reprint.
Wait, we have a contest to announce also. So
yeah, free copy of Dungeon Crusade.
Yeah, so stay tuned to the end of this video. We'll tell you how to win. But yeah,
I hooked up a free copy of the Crusader of the Realm, but the current version. But what I learned is I tried to accommodate everyone. So we had the Knight of the Realm edition before. It was just Dungeon Crusade. Yeah. And I worked, how much I worked on the Avalon Adventure board game. There was so much world building and lore and characters and factions. But that way you could have just got Dungeon Crusade without that. Then there was the Crusader of the Realm edition, Dungeon Crusade, the Avalon Adventure board game. And then back then there was the premium one, was the Master of the Realm. Dungeon Crusade, Avalon Adventure board game, and the 3 extra House of Chance games. So now with the reprint, I learned, well, now people have the Knight of the Realm. Wait, I want the Avalon Adventure board game. I want House of Chance games. And it's like, we should have done what we're doing now. There's only 2 editions of Dungeon Crusade. And there's, of course, all the add-ons. There's the double dungeon expansion pack with Castle Blackwood and the Cavern of Lost Souls.
Cavern of Lost Souls, yeah.
There is the 6 expansion heroes, the difficulty monster decks. But now it's real easy. You come in, you just want to have, you can get the Crusader of the Realm edition is Dungeon Crusade and the Avalon Adventure board game. That's the Crusader of the Realm. And then, you know me, I come up with these colorful names, and I had that big, remember that throne that I gave away, that giant?
Yeah, that throne was crazy. It was like the Game of Thrones. It was like the throne, the sword throne.
We were up to like 4 a.m. doing that crazy video with the smoke and the lights and all that in my living room. Guys, if you're not seeing this, you might have, I'll send you a picture to put into the video. But yeah, it was this giant death throne that I found. As soon as I saw it, and we were during, it was when it was on Kickstarter. I'm like,
yeah,
my God, the Lord of the Realm edition.
The Lord of the Realm edition.
They're gonna get this Avalon. They're gonna get this throne and all of this stuff. And I did this video, and we were having fog machines, and someone won it. And actually, it's in their home now. And I kind of wish I would have kept it, but it's this giant tall death throne. And it was just crazy to put on Kickstarter. But I thought the backers first, like, oh, the backers are going to love this one. And I was working like a madman putting that package together. But anyway, going back, but there's now the Slayer, Slayer of the Realm. And this is for the people, if you just want to get into Dungeon Crusade and you're just full on and you want to get everything, Slayer of the Realm. Base copy of Dungeon Crusade, Avalon Adventure board game, the 3 extra House of Chance games, the double dungeon expansion pack, the expert monster difficulty deck, and the heroic monster difficulty deck. So you get everything of the add-ons in one giant box. I don't think it'll compare to Michael's. Damn it! I wanted to beat Mike. But Slayer of the Realm is 6 inches deep and about 12 inches round. So Crusader of the Realm edition is 4 inches deep. And then the Slayer is 6 inches deep, and it has all your expansion. So, and I'll put a link, to the video where you can, I kind of help you out and go through everything. So make sure you check my link, and it's a lot of good information, and a link for the Pledge Manager if you just want to take a look at everything. Pledge Manager scheduled. It said the 7th, but I've been talking to our production engineer and the support team manager at Pledge Manager. It's going to be open a few extra days because people have really asked, hey, I just saw this, I get paid this day. And I said, no problem, because Wingo Games, our amazing manufacturer, said, well, that's fine. So we got to set everything up. But guys, no, this thing is going to print. They're getting ready. Pledge Manager's closing, but take a look, not to push you, but watch some videos, ask questions. I'm always here. But going back tonight, just talk about the changes.
Yeah. So it went from about 70 pages to about 50 pages.
Yeah, well, 48.
48.
Yeah,
and
really cut.
I think the structure. So who was leading the change in structure? Was that Ilpo? Did he suggest, hey, let's start with Avalon and then work our way through, or was that you, or was it
to do with it? Because you said, and I think I said, no, we were chatting. I don't know if you remember this.
I don't remember that. Okay, fine. I'll take credit. Yeah.
Look, Daniel, wait a minute. Daniel has a tavern task that was inspired by him in the game. We're going to get to that.
Oh, is that the new one? Is it in there?
That Trouble with Traps. That was.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
There's actually a 7th tavern task. Sorry, we're talking. What was I chatting about?
Avalon. Introducing the game through the Avalon Adventure board game as kind of an introduction to the world, right?
Thing I learned, we had the Avalon Adventure board game at the back of the rule book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You were telling me, it's like, oh, we should put that at the front, or I said, or you said it. And I'm like, you know what? We're going to put that at the front. But really, when it started out with a quick reference guide. And
That's right. Ilpo put together that quick reference guide with the table, with the actions, and all of that kind of stuff.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And then so it was only a few pages, and then he gave me that, and oh my God, that was just back to graphic design, because I put the whole graphic design together for the rule book, which is just that was immense to do that. If you ever done a rule book, like, and just the way that I do it, at least.
Well,
But
there
then,
are so many examples in the new rule book, pictures, and yeah, it's a really nice looking rule book
and no,
for
no, thank
sure.
you for saying
Yeah,
that. And
yeah.
really, guys, remember, download it. I want you to check it out. But it really morphed out of that because then when it was on Kickstarter, and again, I listen to fans. They're my number one priority. That's why I'm doing this, and I am so grateful to them. They said, "Well, you're going to get." I said, "You're going to get the quick reference guide," and it was just kind of like, you know what? Screw it. We're just going to do the whole rule book. Let's just do a revised rule book. And people were saying that, and so that was one thing with the reprint. And plus, the manufacturer was busy. That's why the delay was because they were working. We had to wait our place in line. And yeah, it was a reprint, but we could just say, well, Dungeon Crusade has got to go first. I mean, you should see this print machine, Daniel. It's massive, and they've got tons and tons of board games and card games.
Coming through. Yeah.
Yeah, so we had to wait our place in line. But what I did, well, Ilpo and me and a few tech writers, we just basically ripped everything apart, took basically that intro, that the quick reference guide,
Hmm.
and built from that. That
Yeah.
wasn't like just like layered the different things on it, and then we put the Avalon Adventure board game, in that I think it's the Dungeon Crusade, then Solo Crusader. There's
Yep.
actually a nice little rule set for the Tomb of Kaladar. The
Yeah.
art.
So the Tomb of Kaladar is the traps in that the special rules for that are much clearer, much better laid out. I love how the solo crusader mode, which is I'm really interested when the next time I play the game, I'm going to play that version. But I like how that's broken out in its own section. It makes it really easy to find what you need. The new revised combat section,
Oh yeah,
it's
that's all laid out.
it's all its own section, so you don't need to read through. I think that was one of my main problems with the original Crusaders Handbook was a lot of the rules for one section were incorporated in a previous section. And so you kind of had to look through a bunch of pages and text to find what you were looking for. And now it just I was looking up, I wonder how I do this. Boom, it's right there. So yeah, I think people will like the new Crusader Handbook a lot more. I think I don't think there will be as many people like me expressing frustration
Yeah.
in their journey to getting to the good stuff. I think you kind of like you and Ilpo have kind of been out there with machetes, kind of hacking hacking away the shrubs and the trees and stuff, and making it just
I
a
give him so
clearer path.
really, I mean, he is part of Groovis Games. I look forward to working with you also on these two smaller games.
Mhm.
And he's just Ilpo, you're amazing. And he's just a pleasure to work with. And he actually thought of this, and he kind of would think of it. And then I would throw together the graphic design. And I was like, okay, it's maybe something like this. But if you noticed, then right at the front, there's a page on how to set up the game, a
Yeah.
recommended way where you could see how everything is laid out. So now you can just look at that, just go from that. Then you can find your own way to tweak everything. But we have a page with that. It just shows you, okay, I'll put everything here. Your game's set up. And then there's another page that has all the components. It has everything that you want to know. There is also I had to click on something. Sorry.
Mhm.
And then lastly, this was in the quick reference guide. There's now a key for all the dungeons that point out the treasure
Where
chest.
everything is. Yeah.
So really everything, there's a bigger index so you can find stuff. It's just that really is a night and day difference from that original one. And honestly, where the game is now with what I'm going to list quickly, I'm really just content. I'm happy that other people are happy and we honed that experience for them. I was not going to stop with this. I wanted to make sure people were taken care of.
So what inspired the new combat system? Because you have this whole new final strike
Oh,
attack.
the minions.
Yeah. So where did that come from? So for people who don't know,
Play testing.
there's this new D20 that you roll in combat. Usually the combat was a D12 and a D6, but now we have this kind of final strike mechanism, and it reminds me a lot of the fray die used in Scarlet Heroes, where in Scarlet Heroes, when your hero attacks a creature that is the same level or below, you get to roll an extra die that automatically does damage. So you're kind of always doing something cool in combat. And that final strike die kind of reminds me of that. It's like this last, it's like a chance to get in one last hit kind of in a
Exactly.
melee combat.
Let me start with this. There's people that who like and like I said, there's the classic combat system where that's more strategic and
Hmm.
tactical. And it's a little more drawn out, but some people like that. But now there's the revised combat. But here's the thing, the way and what you're talking about, the final strike, it's with minions. So whether and I recommend anyone playing, if you're a first time crusader, play with the revised combat system first, because it's super easy to understand. But my point is, whether if you choose the classic combat mode or revised combat mode, you combat minions the exact same way. And what it is honestly, if the old way is you would use the classic combat system with minions, listen to people, Rodger, it's like it's a little too long with minions. They're minions. I went to work, and honestly,
Mm-hmm.
when you see it now, it's way more thematic, and it really fits much better in Dungeon Crusade, because there's six. I'm not going to go on a tangent on the warfare types, but there's six warfare types in the land of Avalon, fighting styles. So
Right.
think like street fighting, karate, judo, all that. Well, in Avalon, there's physical warfare, red dice, ranged warfare, blue dice, arcane warfare, green dice. These are D12 and D6. Mythical warfare is the purple dice. Spiritual warfare is orange dice, and the chaos warfare is black dice. And what I wanted to address with this was true party building. And you know from playing that you have to really rally your heroes together, a few
Yeah.
heroes, because the monsters, although there's six warfare types, monsters are versed in three of the six. So if you send like Maheliak in, he's very strong with physical warfare and chaos.
And chaos. Yeah.
But if you go in with a magic user, he's not going to do good. He's not proficient in those. However, if you party him with Zeke, the wizard, he is very strong in magic. That's my point. That's really what there was a lot of things I was out to do, but that was one of the things that was paramount is you got to put heroes together. And I think sometimes that combat system it's abstract, but once you get it, you see how fun it is to put heroes together and build, them up with all like the power gems and there's 193 pieces of loot you can equip them with. That's what I love. And that's really a lot of my MMO RPG and Diablo stuff was really inspired to put that in the Dungeon Crusade. But what you're talking about is minions. And so real quick about that, there's minions, champions, and guardian monsters. All the monsters are versed in three of the six warfare types. When you combat minions now, combat's over in 10 to 15 seconds.
Yeah.
It's not long. So what you're going to do is that minion, when you're going to attack a minion, you take the warfare token. So say it's a orc archer, ranged warfare, I forgot what physical warfare and chaos warfare. You have these little tokens. You shuffle and pull one out. That's like the AI. So that minions is going to use ranged warfare for that. So there's some uncertainty when attacking a minion. So what the final strike die is, it's a D20. You roll it with like those warfare dice. So what I always say is picture like the first hit is the warfare dice. They go at it and they have a little cling, and as they're pulling away is a final strike. It's a chance for one of them to do more damage.
Yeah.
That and combat is done. It's 10 to 15 seconds now. And then you could do like, and really this is from Warhammer Quest, is oh gosh,
Follow through. Death blow.
Death blow.
Death blow. Yeah. You can
So
you can follow through if there are adjacent minions, right?
that's
Yeah.
what inspired me with that was death blow. So if you have extra damage, so if Maheliak does 3 damage and there's 2 minions, that 1 damage will kill that one minion, but the one over here, you can carry damage over now and put it on that.
Yeah, that's cool. So it feels like to me, it feels like now the heroes, when they're facing the minions, they feel a little more heroic, right? Because those are minions, and the heroes
They're
should
trash.
be slashing through those trash mobs, right? But
Exactly.
then they come across the Chamber Guardians, and the Chamber Guardians are a little more powerful. So the
Champions.
heroes, the champions, so they don't feel as heroic, and then so they have to work a little harder to overcome the champions. And
Real
then
quick, champion
you know,
monsters were died in the chambers of the dungeon are safeguarding your quest items you need.
yeah,
And then you're going to say the
The
Guardians.
guard, and then the Guardians come busting through. They're like, "Ah, this is my dungeon." And then the heroes are actually kind of scared. Then the heroes have to really team up together in order to defeat
Exactly.
a
And that
Guardian. Yeah.
that was my MMO RPG influence. Like when I play those games, and you know how it is, if you ever played them, I was heavily into those games, World of Warcraft, but you get your buddies and you all beat up on the boss. That's when I wanted to bring the Dungeon Crusade.
Hmm.
Vic, that big ogre with the club. That's fun to like rally two other heroes and you all go attack him at the same time, because if one hero attacks a guardian, there usually is a few hits and that hero will be dead because they can have potential to do a lot of damage. So that's a little bit about the combat system. But what I want to do is I have a screen. And this will be in there for you guys. I'm going to go through this quick. I just like to read you real quick what is different in Dungeon Crusade. Okay, so why is it better? Oh, and I want to say in your Crusader, maybe I should say this first. I wanted to make sure that the people who had the original game, and that's what we're giving away today, the Crusader realm of the original one.
The original version. Okay.
You will need the Crusader upgrade pack. You get a hold of me if you want it, or you can go into the Pledge Manager now. It's only $20 and have it shipped right to your house. Or just wait and I'll work a deal out with you to get it to you. But I wanted to make sure those people, that core fan base was taken care of. Crusader upgrade pack is $20. You get the revised rulebook, of course, with all the solo Crusader mode. You get the new mercenary mini board for your.
Oh, yep.
You get, and I wanted to do this before. I love the land of Avalon, and everyone seems to love that land. And I wanted to give them a map. Kind of like those old PC games when you buy.
Yeah, I came up with the map. Yeah.
Britannia with the Ultima series. So now you're getting a huge full color map of the land of Avalon. It's like 18 by 21 inches, and that's in your Crusader upgrade pack, and it's in both editions of the game. And I just wanted to give that to people because and Damian Maimaldi was the artist. I gave him my prototype of Avalon, and Damian worked on The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. He was all these artists were amazing. But I saw that map in The Witcher 3, and I'm like, David Maimaldi, my friends are like, dude, this guy worked with CD Projekt Red. He's not going to listen to you and your little, you know me well enough. Hi, Damien. I'm Rodger Deering, and you know me, I'm all excited. And I'm like, hey, I wanted to let you know, get a hold of me, please. 2 days later, oh my God, Dungeon Crusade, I'm on. And he was just incredible to work with. So he took Avalon and basically painted over it. And you saw, dude is just out of this world. So you get that, and then in the Crusader upgrade pack, like there's a few replacement cards that they had an error from the printer. They had flip-flopped a few. There's a new Tavern Task card, thanks to DJ Davis with the Trouble with Traps.
Okay, so that's coming in there. Yeah, so I always thought that you should get some kind of reward for hunting down the traps and disarming them or triggering them. So it would give players more of an incentive to engage with the trap system in the game.
Yeah, and you really were. That's why I wrote that, was for you thought of that. And it was a good idea. So, and real quick, there's Tavern Tasks. Now there's 7 in the game, with the one that you kind of inspired, the game with. So there's the Trouble with Traps. Beginning of the game, you draw one of the 7 randomly. Those are optional quests.
They're like little side quests, little mini quests to go on while you're doing your big questing.
Right. So, and I create all these characters, that live in the land of Avalon. So it's actually Captain Briggs, the head of the Avalon Valiant Army. He gives you a tavern task called the Trouble with Traps. And he wants you to disable up to 10 traps. When you disable them, you get 100 gold and 2 life force.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Disable them, you can get a lot of life force. Sorry, life force is XP in Dungeon Crusade. There's these little green chips, and then it's a collective pool. You use that to level up, buy new special abilities. So life force equals XP. So you're going to get a new tavern task. What else is in there? The new minion speed track. But that's
right. So the minions now, you can play with a module where they have variable movement points. So you never really know how far they will move in a game.
It's written on their card. It's printed on their card, like how fast. It's like a Blackwood Prowler. It's like this evil wolf thing. So it has a base move and a 5 plus the roll of a D6. What the new chart you could use, it'll have I wish I had a picture. I had one here and I'd show you, but you could use either a D3, a D4, a D6, D8, D10, or a D12.
Yeah, so the minions can be really fast now.
Oh yeah, so you don't know. So you could tweak. There's a few variants that you could use that you could roll on this chart. So like if a 4 comes up, okay, all the minions are going to use a D8 for the monster phase, or they could use a D12, which they're going to be flying around the dungeon, or they could use a D3. They're going to go slow. Just another factor in the game, another layer, and a
Yeah.
very easy thing to put in. But so that's in the game. There's a few ways that's in the revised rulebook how to use it. But I want to say the smallest thing, and this was like a godsend in the game. And I wish I just would have had this card down here, and I'm sorry I don't. You know what, in the link, you can download it. So just download, check my comment, and I'll have everything in there for you. But, and I think you'll agree with this, the scalable difficulty reference card.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference. The last time I played the game with some friends, we used that scalable difficulty, and it really did make the lower level play a lot more fun.
Because, and just real quick, what that is, heroes can ascend to level 3 in Dungeon Crusade. And so there's, in the encounter deck, there's challenges and events. And then, you know, there's the traps in the game. And then one of your favorite, those trapped treasure chests.
Oh, man, to this day, I still swear that Dungeon Crusade has the best treasure deck ever.
Well, thank you.
There are so many cool things in that treasure deck, and it's not just loot. Like you find traps in the treasure. There are that
ultimate risk reward.
Yeah, that teleportation stone. What is that? The
Soul or the Dawn Star stone.
The Dawn Star stone. Yeah. I love that treasure deck. It's so good.
You know that ghostly girl with the red hair, black eyes. Yeah. She just banishes heroes. Your hero, you could do it. If you don't pass that, your hero's banished and out of the game until you roll like 18 to 20, and then they come back. People hate that card.
I love it. I love that
character
stuff.
In the story. That's why I put her in there. But anyway, so the problem was this. Not a problem. It just made the game a little more hard. So there's values that you have to roll in a D20 for the challenges, events, trap treasure chest, and the trap system. Those numbers are kind of high. So the scalable difficulty card lets you do this. Level 1 heroes can deduct 6 off that printed value on the card. A level 2 hero can deduct 3 off that card. And then if you're level 3, you just leave that because you're leveling up, your attributes are getting better. Mm-hmm. So my point is, it made those values a lot easier for level 1, level 2 heroes. It was something small, but it had a huge impact on the game and just made it a better experience and more enjoyable. Because some of those, were like you had to roll an 18 and you're level 1 and you only have like 2 strength and you got to roll like a nat 16 to get through that. But that's in the game. But I'm just going to go through this real quick. I'm just going to fly through this actually. So hold on, I'm looking at this so I don't forget anything. Of course, the new revised rulebook, much slimmer and to the point. Download that. It's in the link for you. The new solo crusader mode with the mercenary camp. The classic combat system is in the game. The newly revised combat system is in the game. The new, like we talked about, new scalable difficulty reference card. How about your level 1, level 2 heroes? The game time has been reduced to offer a quicker game. There's easier and quicker setup time thanks to that one page. It just shows how to lay everything out. New minion movement speed track. And then just a few other tweaks and balances like we talked with the minion combat. That been so. My point is this, Daniel. Anything people had something to say and stuff I wanted to change, it was in the game. Yeah, and it's just
so is the new minion combat? Is that now the official minion combat of Dungeon Crusade? Is that's not an option?
It's
okay. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, that's cool. Okay.
So it's like this: if you even choose classic combat or revised combat, you only use that for the champion monsters that reside in the chambers of the dungeon, safeguarding quest items, and the guardians. You use the minion combat
always.
Whichever one you're going to use.
That's cool. That's cool. That's a good change. That's a pretty significant change in the game that I think really does alter the feel of the game for the better. And I'm glad that you incorporated that as a core rule and not an option, so people will just play with that from now on.
No, it was just some people liked combating minions, but it was just long and drawn out. It should be just more peppy, and that's exactly. It's just way more quicker now with the minions or trash mobs, but it's more thematic because you don't know what that minion's going to use for that warfare type, and it just added it just better Dungeon Crusade with that.
Yeah.
But those were all of the significant changes today.
Yeah, so what I wanted to talk about, and we don't have to give away two things. One, I know that there was some talk about a more random encounter cards with some more art. And I know you were going to work on like a whole nother kind of expansion with a bunch of random encounter the encounter deck, and you were going to kind of like make some new cards and stuff with some new
Oh,
art.
you mean the huge expansion?
Yeah, is that still like
Absolutely.
in the future of the game?
Oh, there's no doubt that's
Yeah.
coming. There's at least 4 new dungeons, but so you were talking about the expansion pack, Daniel. I worked on that for 4 years because honestly, when we were doing the game, I wrote 120
Yeah,
encounters.
that's right. So you have a bunch of them already written.
There were 12 guardians in the game, cut it down to 8. But the expansion will end all expansions. It is going to be just triple the amount of monsters in the game, new heroes, at least 4 new dungeons. And I'm going to be designing those a little differently, kind of the patrol route system 2.0. But yeah, new types of encounters. There's new loot going to be in the game, exotic weapons. And there's a new kind of charm. And I've been dying to tell people what this charm is going to do. But if you play the game and when you see what this charm does, should I give out a spoiler now? You want me to tell you? First
Yeah,
time.
give us a at least a good hint. Drop us
Okay.
some knowledge here.
Okay. Okay. Here you go. I've never said this before. I'm going to tell you. You know, there's charms in the game.
Yeah.
Again, and again, we're talking about loot here. There's 193 pieces of loot in the game. And yes, Daniel, there's junk loot, and you better be using the junk loot. When I remember you said, I'm not using junk loot. But you know what I said about
House
that?
rule.
But here's the thing, though. That's why I put it in. This is what I wanted people to do. You're not guaranteed to get good stuff. And what I want to do is have 3 heroes go into a level 4 chamber and fight a death knight. And there's a normal
And
version,
get a
elite, and fight an elite. A hero dies, loses a lot of health. There's the loot and gold roll. You make one, so you know what a loot and gold roll is. You take your D20, there's values for loot. And if you get gold, you make one roll. And then there's, if you meet or exceed that value, you get to draw a loot card and you get the gold. So I got to tell you that because what I'm about to tell you. But that's the thing. So I wanted people to do that and then draw a loot card. And it's like, there's all that stinky shoes or whatever.
yeah, a crumpled playing card or something.
Yeah, crumpled playing card or the helmet that's stuck in a skull.
That's helmet. I love that. The
Like,
helmet with the skull fused to
fused
the
it.
inside.
Not
Yeah.
the word. That's why I wanted in there to be like, oh my God, whether you're playing solo, like, do you believe? Look what we just went through, and we got this junk loot. That's exactly like, yep.
Hey, you know what would be cool? Okay, I just had an idea. So you get junk loot, right? But you take that junk loot back to the blacksmith, and maybe he starts kind of polishing it up, and underneath the rust and the grime and the dirt, he actually discovers that it's some kind of lost legendary weapon that you have discovered. That would be
Make me go,
now
yeah.
that would be cool.
You know what? You just made me think of something. Here I am spitting out. I watch all these other Michael and what did Rodger say? Okay. Yeah, I like this. I'm going to get junk loot. So here's a freebie for you, but I'm going to put it in Dungeon Crusade. You heard it here first. Don't steal our idea. But yeah, like find like a sword, find a shield, find a bow, whatever, and it's all broken up, right?
Uh-huh.
God, I'm really giving away a design thing here. Watch, someone's going to take this and run with it, and then have 5 cards, right? Maybe 2 that say the weapon breaks and the weapon's broken, but then it polishes it up. It becomes either a rare, epic, or legendary.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Oh, it's not. Or, oh my God, this turned out to be a legendary, but you got to pay the blacksmith.
Yeah, to hone it to like.
Yeah, that I shouldn't have said that just now.
That's all right.
No, but that is, Daniel, you know what? I'm going to put that into the expansion. You heard it here first. January 30th. We thought of this. Don't steal it or give us props. But so here's the deal with the charm. This I'll tell you. I've not said this before, and this is one of the new things. In the game, there's charms right now. There's just, it buffs your attributes. If you've ever seen them, there's like, through the well, there's 9 different rarities, but there's common, uncommon, rare, epic, and purple, white, green, blue, purple, and orange. So charms, there's different ones. So, the uncommon one only gives you +2 to 6 different attributes. As it goes up, the charms look better. And if you find a legendary, it's like +7 to like strength, agility.
Yeah, a whole bunch. Yeah.
So the new charm is this. There's going to be, I don't want to say what the charm is because I want to save that, but here's what they're going to do. And you're already going to know how awesome this is going to be, but they're going to have a high gold cost. When you make your loot and gold roll, add to that, it's going to be lucky charms.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
Make that. But see, that's when we got to balance that because, but that's why they're going to be high because you know what? You're going to be killing monsters. You can be, using
finding more and more loot.
Right.
And
but here's
gold. Yeah.
You can only equip one charm at a time. So do you want those charms that are in the game now for your attributes, or do you want these new charms? And I'm going to say what object they're going to be, but it's going to be very, very cool. That is a new thing coming in the expansion. So new types of charms for your golden loot rolls to give you a buff on those.
That sounds super cool. Hey, anyway, I was thinking how it might be fun to have some smaller dungeons. Like maybe a couple dungeons that are only, 2x2 instead of 3x2, or maybe even 1x2. Have you ever thought about maybe making some smaller dungeons for people to explore?
Well, with working on you mean like the quest challenges?
Yeah, or just in an expansion, we have a new dungeon, but it's only 4 boards instead of 6, or it's only 2 boards instead of 4, and you can have smaller, just smaller, more bite-sized chunks.
But see, here's the thing with Dungeon Crusade, and when I designed that, I think we could do that. I think it would be hard to do because of how the framework of the game, how it's designed with big dungeons. I'm saying, it can be done. Actually, I was coming up with a mod where you took some of those off and there was arrows that would point out and all that, but it was something you had to do this. And it just was like, it got messy, to be completely honest with you. But I will say, and I was going to end it with this about the 2 smaller games I'm working on for this. But before I get into that, let me just say this about what I said when we were talking about all the changes, a revised rulebook. And I said this in the last Kickstarter update. And really speaking from the heart, I'm just happy that we can close the massive book on book 1, Genesis of Evil. It's been perfected. It's been honed. I am really happy as a creator where this is at with a massive expansion on the horizon. That won't be coming out to probably 2024, to be completely honest with you. I feel like I can get back into life.
Yeah.
My music channel for my guitar.
Yeah, it takes some time, man.
And work on smaller games. You don't know what, it's not like a burden. I don't want to make it like that, but it's, I'm on this every single day for years and years and years, but I was there for them. I feel comfortable where the game is at. People can take it now, enjoy it. Now I can work on these smaller games. So these 2 smaller games, if you saw the map of Avalon, there's like 50 different locations. And this is what I plan. This is book 1, Genesis of Evil. These games are going to be chapter games and take place at one location. And Daniel, just already, I can tell, I've been putting work into this. It's so nice to be able to do lore for one location.
Yeah, you can really dive in deep and get into the nitty gritty instead of having to do an epic scope thing, right?
It's like, because the framework for Dungeon Crusade was like that. Where they're smaller, but they're going to be very plentiful with monsters and creatures. There's going to be tons of those. There's going to be a lot of weapons. But the one game that I am dying to show you guys, and I'm like, as soon as this is done, I want it to hit Kickstarter. I promise you this, and I'm saying this on January 30th, the game world is something like you've never seen. I don't know if you like traditional dungeon crawl games, something like Warhammer Quest and Hero Quest, you're really going to like what this game is. But I assure you, when you see what this is, you've never seen a dungeon game quite like this. And there's so many things that I just, I don't know, like with music, you just sometimes you're like, all these ideas start popping. And so I started putting all this stuff together. I'm like a madman. I'll start writing stuff down or typing so I don't forget it. But everything that's building is like layering into this it's a dungeon crawl game. It's a dark fantasy dungeon crawl game. The world game world that you're going to explore is you've never seen it before. And I'm like, if I'm excited to play this, or just even at this phase, I think everyone is going to really enjoy this. But my thing is this: I've always taken notes. What you say, what Axel says, what Paul says, what our friend Nick Thornton says. Like, what are your problems with board games? Oh, I want this. I don't like this.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, this is a calculated game, listening to what people said over the years.
Mm-hmm.
People want to spend, some people do. Dungeon Crusade, it takes 30 to 40 minutes to set up, but I wanted to give people a grandiose, giant experience. Now,
Yeah.
10 to 15 minutes to set this new game up. Playtime, 2 hours or under. So these two smaller games are going to be very plentiful with stuff, but that's the thing. And there's other things with all these variables. I'm zoning in on what people want out of the game.
Yeah, there's a big in the Dungeon Dive community. We have a nice small but active community. There has been a shift in the last couple years towards people desiring smaller, more bite-sized games that don't have a ton of stuff, that have good variety, but games that you can get out, set up, play. You don't have to have a giant gaming table. You don't have to have 4 or 5 hours. Just you can have these nice little these nice little experiences that still offer a lot of theme.
Mm-hmm.
And there has been like a lot of people on the Dungeon Knife Facebook group have been expressing interest in more in that kind of game. And you've probably noticed my channel over the last couple of years. That is something that I have said that I have been enjoying more are smaller games
Yeah.
that still give me that feel of adventure, but I don't need to invest so much of my life into the game.
Like Warhammer Quest 95.
Mm-hmm.
And all of that stuff in there, and you could have a great time with it. And I don't want to like get on this, but the thing about Warhammer Quest 95, it's almost, to me, everyone's going to say something different. So I'm going to say it's the perfect dungeon crawl. I will say it was, especially for that time, was that close to being almost a perfect dungeon crawl game. There's things I would definitely change. It's something that I'm putting into this new game that I'm working on. And it's just, but I saw probably everyone who's it, they saw what they were trying to do. They had all of they came out those 2 expansions, which I would love to have, but then you had to buy all those miniatures,
Mm-hmm.
for it. But we saw what they were trying to do. You get the huge base game, all the stuff, get the expansions, the 3 treasure packs and all that. They were really on the road to doing. I just wish that would have taken off,
Yeah.
now we got League of Dungeoneers and all this other stuff. But even years ago, we saw what they were trying to doing, and it's too bad it didn't flourish. And I don't like metal figure. I hate metal figures. I wish those expansions would have had just plastic figures like that came with
the base game. Yeah.
And I'll just say this, end it with, why in the world doesn't Games Workshop just put that damn game on Kickstarter, something like that? Because everyone and their mother would buy that game.
Well, I heard that they actually do not have the files anymore. Like it's not just a logistical thing of pressing print on files. Like a lot of that stuff is just gone, and they would have to spend time recreating it. But yeah, so I've heard that it's not just a simple task of printing more. That's unfortunate.
Well, and so I'll just end it with this new game, that if you like stuff like that and Dungeon Quest and Hero Quest, this new game is very inspired by that. But I've put a lot of my own creative, kooky stuff in there. I mean, good stuff that you haven't seen before. And I'm really excited for you to see this. The exploring will be really fun, because I'll just say, in this game world, it'll be random. You won't know what's going to happen. And I'm really excited to share it, in much, much smaller than Dungeon Crusade. So these are chapter games.
Awesome. Well, hey, that sounds cool. Let's talk about the expansion, or the giveaway. So you had a question, and Rodger's going to ask. Was that?
People are going to ask this, so I just want to put this out there. because people have asked, okay, when's Dungeon Crusade going to ship out? For the reprint.
Oh yeah.
So I just want to give you this quick information. Link for the pledge matters down there. Just take a look. Not pushing you. Just take a look. Definitely take a look at the rule book, because people are going to ask, well, when are we going to get this thing? This is straight from the manufacturer that they're going to start the printing very soon. Like they started at the end of the month. They have to set everything up. I mean, it's done, guys. We've okayed all of the templates for it. We're done. So they have to set everything up. Printing is going to go all through February and into March. They're saying towards the end of March, printing's done. Games then will be delivered to fulfillment. So your game, if you ordered it, we're guesstimating April to May. But of course, as we get closer at everything, work with our fulfillment partner. You know me, I'm a stickler for updates. I'm the update king. I'll let you guys know, but we want it out fast, everyone, and I just want to get it so I could work on what I talked about. Yeah. So I just wanted to give you guys some information. You don't got to really wait that long. That's being printed. Like within 2 weeks, this thing's going to be hitting the print. So, not to rush you, but just know, because we all want the games now. So you're not going to have to really wait for this because it's all done. So, okay, so the giveaway.
So Rodger's going to ask a question. This video is going to post on tomorrow, but what's the date tomorrow? Let me check. So this video is going to post Tuesday, January 31st. I will leave the question period will be through February 7th, so 1 full week. I will announce the winner on February 8th, and I will post the winner in a pinned comment on this video. And then you will have a week to get back to us, and we can work out supplying your address to Rodger. So Rodger, what is the question?
Shipping. So remember we did this before with the other one. The really nice guy won that. So we paid, I think, up to $25 shipping.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll do that again.
So, but if it goes over, if you're international, we would have to ask that, because some of it would get crazy. So
yeah, shipping right now is insane. I tried to ship a copy of Dungeon Crusade to Andy in Australia, and it was $180 to ship.
What?
Yeah.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah, or something like that. Like $80. It was close to or well over $100 to ship.
When it was 130, like I don't know, a year or something ago. It's crazy.
So we'll cover $25 of shipping. And so what's the question?
If
Rodger?
you're in the US, you're pretty much covered.
Yeah.
It'll be good. So I'm wearing, you see the Kiss, Daniel's favorite band, my favorite band. So we did a Kiss one last time. And what was my favorite song? And we did it with the other ones, King of the Nighttime World. So I grew up with my 3 favorite bands since I was like 5: Black Sabbath, Kiss, and Queen. So we're going to do Queen. There's one song. I mean, I love Queen. Queen influenced me in Black Sabbath and Dungeon Crusade. There's so much Queen of the Black Hand, like in the fourth or the Champion. That was from a Queen song. There's so much from like Black Sabbath and this, but anyway, music really inspired me with Dungeon Crusade. So to win this, all you have to do is this. What is my favorite Queen song? And I'm going to give you a hint. I love Queen, but I love the vintage stuff. This song, a little well known. No, it's not Another One Bites the Dust. No, it's not A Crazy Thing Called Love. It's not that. But it's from their debut studio album from 1973. And it's between The Game from I think 1980, and that had Another One Bites the Dust, and they're awesome. But I love that. Was to me, vintage Queen is just like the best. They were really ahead of their time.
So the first person to guess the song and post it in a comment below.
Yep, and it's not really obscure, but when you hear, if you've never heard it, you guess it, you have to listen to this. It is, oh God, it is so good. There's never a stereo loud enough for this song. It's
awesome. All right. Well, good luck, everybody. And we better cut this interview now. So, hey, thanks for coming on, Rodger. It was great to get a catch up on Dungeon Crusade. And I'm sure everybody is excited. And I'm really looking forward to the future. Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Everyone, thank you really for your time and your interest and just hanging out with us. I love doing this. And the biggest thing is, we didn't tell them. I did confirm this. Daniel's middle name is not Aloysius.
Ah, that's
Some
right.
thought that it's not. I asked him on the last interview. His name is not Aloysius. But no, thank you for your time. I wish all of you the best. Stay safe, happy gaming, and just have a great 2023. I wish you the best.
Yep. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye bye.
Yeah.